Hello and welcome. This is Donna. I'm going to do a flip through of the journal that I started with Nancy from Wishes and Weeds and Catherine from Sunnyside Journals. I was absolutely thrilled to be asked to be part of a group that was going to do journals simultaneously. We all did something different, so hopefully you're getting a lot of great tips. And it is a variation on a theme, mid-century junk journals. And if you were following me, I was working on the cover with the vintage wallpaper. I went ahead and used some sari silk and some velvet, and this is what's happening here. So let's flip through it and see what you think. First, I did this flip, and this was inspired by, here, let me move this part. This was inspired by 49 Dragonflies. It is the altered envelope journals that she's been doing lately. So there's a lot of seam binding through here. There will be bulb pins with all kinds of things. This is a Tim Holtz swivel clasp, and on here is a bobbin. There's a bobbin here too, and some ribbon, and there's a garter belt clip. So this flips out, and in this first part we have some different ephemeras, some cards. Put this back in there. I did some sewing on some tissue with different stitches, and I have a stamp that's really fun. Style vintage, handmade. And we have a needle case, vintage button, laces, lots of sewing, and the first pocket has this little card. Guest towels is what it says, and it's printed on a tissue paper, and I don't think it's an iron-on, but I have big rolls of this, and it has different designs, and you're meant to use it as a pattern for your stitching. If you want to make something for your tea towels or tablecloths, things like that. And then this opens up. I've got some, I covered the envelopes with some some prints of sewing machines. Let's look at this one first. So this is an alteration tag that I altered. I put this fun buckle. That was somebody's buckle from a dress with that fabric on it. And we did our card with my favorite napkins. And there's one of my friends gifted me this wonderful paper, and it has a lot of sewing themed things on it. So I'll put that aside. And in here we have another envelope place. It's a zipper advertisement. On my Big Shot, I had a embossing plate to Tim Holtz, I'm pretty sure, that has measuring tape design on it. The belly band. Over here we have one of the books, the booklets that I made with the sewing tissue, and I was inspired to do this from Shabby Soul. Thank you for that. Lots of neat papers in here. And then that flips over, and this other envelope has this tag that I used some advertising ephemera on. Put that back in there. This image is from a 40s pattern. I liked her plaid dress. And then I used tissue or sewing instructions to back a lot of papers, the trims, the rickrack, and the that's not rickrack, and seam binding. It flips over. There is a belly band, and I made this out of a piece of cardboard. Okay, some of my cardboard comes from inside my cat food boxes with the cans. And underneath the layers of cans is this cardboard, and it's really nice thickness for tags. So I covered that. Washi, another image from a pattern, and she has a little iridescence. I'm not sure if you can see it. I hope you can. It comes from Jelly Roll pen. And there's those clips that you can clip on. It has a part where you can put ribbon or anything through it. So we'll just put that aside. In this pocket is, a needle case. There's the needle case, pretty nifty. A Stitch in Time Saves 9, Buffalo Evening News. Look at the old phone number. Wow. I like how a lot of advertisers printed on old sewing notions. You know, it's pretty neat. Oh, so here we are for the cover again. So that's how it turned out. I did go around and put a seam binding all the way around to cover up my edges. And I have a collection of flowers that I've cut off, hats, so millinery, old antique hats. And that brings us to the inside. So let's pull this wrinkled seam binding off. This was an old buckle. You'd have to turn it to clip in, but I just did this with it so that I could close that shut. And let's get right into our first part. So the first part is an inspiration from Robin Dudley Howe, who does altered file folders. And I had these great envelopes, and I thought, why don't I do that with that? And I did the embellishment here that flips over. One of the flowers again. There's tulle under here, different layers of ribbons, and our 3D images here. And then that's a pretty big envelope. You can put all kinds of stuff in here. And what I put in here was the hooks and eyes, and I covered it with a ribbon that has upraised velvet. That goes in here. My first page is these shoulder pad cushions. 39 cents, yay. And I altered some regular dollar store tape with distressed ink. You can also use alcohol inks to do this. A lot of people have tutorials on it. This is a glassine bag with a wonderful Clorox ad. So that becomes a pocket. And I had some packaging from one of my Tim Holtz things that I bought, and I covered it in this wonderful paper that I was gifted, and just ran that all the way around. Have the ribbon, use that for the tab, another needle case, and this really nice buckle, very iridescent. And the glassine bag is just glued to this page, and it flips out. And there's the page from the sewing book. This is one of the pockets that we made out of the pattern instructions with one of our girls, upraised the vintage quilt squares that I cut up and pushed through the machine so they would wrinkle up like this while doing a zigzag. There's some more bulb pins with vintage buttons, and this becomes a pocket. Well, yeah, it's a pocket. And I just put in the fine point needle book, best for all family use. Still has some needles in it, pretty neat. And then on this other side, I just did some layers of papers. It's from an old ledger. And then here, a bingo card with a rickrack and a zipper and some images. I think I took my pen and did that too. This is a little envelope, and I decorated it with an old ad and this rickrack. This is a button card that the buttons had fallen off of, but I kept the card. I put some seam binding on that, and some charms and buttons on a bulb pin. And this is Nancy's idea. This is a bra clip. I thought that was very clever, so I wanted to use that. Put that in there. And then on this side, a piece of cardboard again, embellished, seam binding, rickrack, advertising. This is one of the tags that we did together. I just added that ribbon with the velvet on it. And a catalog card from the library, Personal Beauty, appropriate. This is the trifold pocket booklet we made with the pattern instructions, and opens up like that. We have that piece. And what I had in here was, first let's start with this part. The snaps. Snap card. And another one of the booklets for this tissue paper. And a nylon darning mending thread. Like the sound of that. And then this is glued on top of a bag. And I embellished the bottom of the bag with laces. Let's get that right there, right here. You can see right here. And you can put a lot in this little bag. I made a tag with the velvet again, and these are iron-ons that you would iron on a cloth and then stitch. Follow the stitches and do some embroidery. This flips over, and over here, really like this. I picked it up on a clearance, I think on Michael's, which I really liked. Wallpaper, really fun wallpaper. This flips out. And here we have the Sewing Susie needle booklet, which I made into a pocket. There's some more snaps. Oh, I'll show you the back too. Yeah, so that's actual vintage notions. I did some tags, another bulb pin, and a copy of the front of a pattern. The buttons. It goes like that. And then this page is so fun. Kind of went a little crazy here with all the embellishments. It does remind me of the altered file folders where you just build up and build up. So first let's look at our button card. Pearl buttons. I used the measuring tape to pull it out there. I cut up one of the bingo cards that I did the upraised pattern, or the pattern image on. Once again, the tab with the measuring tape. And so the base of this was tissue on the page. The quilt that I cut up, or quilt squares I cut up. And then I just layered all of these elements. This tape down here, once again, we have advertising on Notions. Insurance Company of North America, World Headquarters, Philadelphia. A buckle. This was just fun. The needle case, and then obviously this needle case, the Liberty snaps, and all of that, just little tucks everywhere. Those tuck right there. Try these out with different elements. It could be any style. This just, I've had a lot of fun with altered file folders, and it was neat to take those tricks or you know, those inspirations and do it with the sewing ephemera. Journaling space, flip that over, and this is a page, I just glued down a bingo card again with my ladies on another needle case. I have a lot of these. Okay, now we get over to here. And we made these, once again, it is the pattern instructions made into a tuck. And I practiced my stitches on my machine. This is funny. So this tag, this mannequin, so every woman who sews for herself or for her family needs the new My Double Deluxe. This is wire. I can't imagine putting this on your body. It's not very bendable. So I'm thinking it's the same one that I have. I just thought that was pretty funny. I'm not sure how that would even work. I just use it for decoration. On the inside back of the cover, there is another altered envelope with a button card. Look at the prices on these things. Lots of different laces, the velvet, the tulle, the alteration ticket, some fun lace. And this card has Tim Holtz paper on it, and then just I sewed around some ruffled ribbon, some sheer ribbon. And that goes back in there. That comes down. I love this buckle. Once again, we have the very iridescent buckles. Lots of fun ephemera. And that's it. And that's the back. We saw that. Oh, I do have some more of those clasps, or swivel clasps, yeah, down here. And just found some neat stuff to hang off of it. Again, there's a zipper, and that's my flip through. I hope you enjoyed this. This was such a fun project for me, and once again, I just really can't thank Catherine and Nancy enough for their kindness, and it just means so much to me that there's such a caring community out there of people who want to share what they make, and and are encouraging other people to do the same. And I'm extremely grateful for that. And thank you for spending your time with me. You have a wonderful day. Goodbye.